your body has a built-in appetite brake. Right now, it's flooding your bloodstream with a signal telling your brain to stop eating. And your brain is ignoring every single message. Your fat cells are screaming right now. Your brain isn't listening. That signal has a name. It's called leptin. And there's a second hormone working against you. Ghrelin, the one that makes your stomach growl. It runs on a timer. A timer you've accidentally programmed to go off every 3 hours. A timer you can actually reprogram. These two hormones control almost everything about when you feel hungry and when you feel full. When they break down, willpower doesn't stand a chance. Not because you're weak, because your signaling system is malfunctioning. And once that system breaks, it creates a cycle that pulls you deeper. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one of these two is sabotaging you, and what to do about it. Let me show you what the evidence actually shows, hormone by hormone. Let's start with leptin. In 1994, a researcher named Jeffrey Friedman identified the gene that produces this hormone. It was a landmark moment, because for the first time, science had a molecule that told your brain, you have enough stored energy. You can stop eating. Leptin is produced by your fat cell. The more body fat you carry, the more leptin your body produces. In theory, that should mean heavier people feel less hungry, more fuel in the tank, more stop eating signals. But that's not what happens. People with higher body fat are often the hungriest. Their brain thinks they're starving, so it increases hunger and slows metabolism, the exact opposite of what you'd expect. And for decades, that paradox made no sense. Until researchers figured out leptin resistance. Think of your hypothalamus. That's the hunger control center in your brain. As a thermostat, leptin is the temperature reading. When it's high, the thermostat knows you don't need more fuel. But with leptin resistance, the sensor is caked in dust. The signal is there. The reading doesn't register. In 2010, researchers published a study in the Journal of Clinical Investigation. They found that chronic low-grade inflammation, the kind driven by processed food, poor sleep, and visceral fat, may physically block leptin receptors in the hypothalamus. Sound familiar? You're eating better some days, but years of processed food have left inflammation that's still clogging the signal. The key is in the lock, but the keyhole is jammed shut. And here's the cruel part. Leptin resistance makes you eat more, which adds more body fat, which produces more inflammation, which blocks even more leptin. It's a cycle, and it feeds itself. So here's the first piece of this puzzle. If you're carrying extra body fat and you never feel satisfied after meals, research suggests leptin resistance may be the reason. Your body is sending the I'm full signal. Your brain isn't receiving it.
The key takeaway here is leptin resistance.
The signal exists.
The signal is
the receptor
present,
is blocked.
yet the receptors remain blocked.
Now let's talk about ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Ghrelin is produced mainly in your stomach. When your stomach is empty, ghrelin levels rise. When you eat, they fall. Simple enough. But here's what most people don't realize. Ghrelin doesn't rise because your body needs fuel. It rises because your body expects fuel. On a schedule. Your schedule. A 2002 study in the journal Diabetes found that ghrelin surges before habitual meal times, even if you ate a large meal recently. Now, this was a small study. 10 participants. But the pattern has been confirmed in larger studies since. Your body learned your eating pattern, and it starts preparing for food before you actually need it. So if you eat lunch at noon every day, your ghrelin will spike around 11:30, whether you're hungry or not. Your stomach is running an alarm clock, and you set the alarm. Now here's where it gets worse. A 2018 review in Obesity Reviews found that ultra-processed meals produced weaker ghrelin suppression than whole food meals of equal calories. Same calories, but But your hunger comes back faster after processed food, so you eat more, and the cycle repeats. It's not just about willpower or calories in versus calories out. The type of food you eat changes how your hunger hormones behave, and that matters more than most diet advice will ever tell you. Here's the good news. Ghrelin follows a learned schedule. That means you can retrain it. Research suggests your body starts adjusting to a new meal pattern within the first week. The first few days are the hardest. Your old alarm will still go off. But if you hold the new schedule, the signal fades. Your body learns. All right,
pop quiz.
Quick question
As we
for you.
transition into this fasting
Which hormone
state,
makes you
which
feel
hormone
hungry?
primarily signals
Leptin
hunger to the
or
brain?
ghrelin?
Is it leptin?
If you said ghrelin, you're right. Ghrelin is the hunger signal. Leptin is the satiety signal. But here's the twist. Ghrelin works on a schedule. Leptin works on sensitivity. One is a tide, rising and falling on a timer you set yourself. The other is a signal, full of static your brain can't decode yet. Here's what we know for certain. First, leptin resistance is real. Research suggests that when inflammation blocks your hypothalamus, your brain can't hear the satiety signal no matter how much leptin your body produces. High body fat,
This
chronic
brings
stress,
us to principle 2.
poor sleep, and
Ghrelin
ultra-processed
runs
food
on
all
schedule,
contribute to that
so
inflammation.
timing is everything.
Second, ghrelin runs on a learned schedule. It spikes when your body expects food. The more frequently you eat, the more frequently it fires. Retrain the schedule, retrain the hunger. Third, both hormones are deeply affected by sleep. A 2004 study in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that after just 2 nights of 4 hours sleep, ghrelin levels rose 28% and leptin levels dropped 18%. Important to note, that study was conducted on young, healthy men, but the hormonal direction is consistent across subsequent research. 2 nights. That's all it took to shift both hunger hormones in the wrong direction. So if you've been sleeping 5 hours and wondering why you can't stop snacking, now you know. And here's what you can do about it. Before I
This
share these
presentation
takeaways,
provides general
this is
information
educational
and is
content,
not intended to be
not
a
medical
substitute for
advice.
professional.
Talk to your doctor before making changes, especially if you're on medication. Step 1. Reduce meal frequency to retrain ghrelin. Aim for 3 meals a day, spaced about 4 to 5 hours apart. No snacks in between. If you currently eat 5 or 6 times a day, your ghrelin fires 5 or 6 times a day. When you shift to 3 consistent meals, your body starts to adapt. The Cummings study showed that ghrelin follows habitual meal patterns.
By altering
change the
these old
habit,
habits,
and the
we are
hunger signal
restructuring
changes
the
with
very architecture.
The first 2 or 3 days will feel harder. That's your old alarm still ringing. Push through it. By day 5 to 7, most people notice a real difference. Your exact timeline will depend on your biology, activity level, and stress. Step 2. Prioritize sleep. 7 to 8 hours. That Spiegel study showed hormonal disruption after just 2 short nights. Protecting sleep protects your hunger signals. This is non-negotiable. Step 3. Reduce inflammation to support leptin sensitivity. The Myers research suggests that chronic inflammation may impair leptin receptor function. Cut back on ultra-processed food. Manage chronic stress. And build your plates around anti-inflammatory foods. Fatty fish twice a week, leafy greens daily, and a small serving of fermented food like kimchi, sauerkraut, or yogurt with at least 1 meal.
We're at 65%.
Start each meal with protein and fiber
Increased
before
density
anything
on the
else.
far left conduit.
Protein and fiber
Lock
slow
sequence.
gastric emptying, which helps blunt the ghrelin spike after eating. That
As we
means
shift
eggs
into this
before
state,
toast,
follow the chronological
vegetables
entry
before
guidelines.
rice,
Prioritize
fish
eggs
before
over
bread.
toast, vegetables over...
These aren't superfoods or supplements. They're basics. But they directly target the inflammation that's blocking your leptin signal. Individual results will vary.
We are entering the scientific
Now,
frontier
I want to
of
be
the
honest with
fasting
you.
state.
We know
A
leptin
period of
resistance
profound
exists.
cellular...
We know ghrelin runs on a schedule. But the exact interaction between the two, how one hormone's dysfunction amplifies the other, is still being mapped out. The science is evolving. What I've shared today is what the strongest evidence supports, but there's more to uncover. And if you're thinking, I've tried all that and I'm still hungry, here's how to tell which hormone is your problem. If you're always hungry within an hour of eating, even a large meal, your ghrelin cycle is the problem. Your alarm clock needs resetting. You can eat a huge meal and still feel unsatisfied, or you never feel full enough. Leptin resistance is more likely. Your thermostat needs cleaning. And here's the thing nobody tells you. I spent 2 years thinking my hunger was a willpower problem. I'd eat a full dinner and still find myself standing in front of the fridge 45 minutes later, opening the door like something new magically appeared. It wasn't willpower. It was signaling. But there's something nobody is talking about. Leptin and ghrelin are only 2 players in a much bigger hormonal network. There's a third hormone, one that connects to both of them. Most people have never heard of the connection. It's called insulin. Research shows that leptin and insulin converge on the same appetite control circuits in your brain, the hypothalamic neurons that decide whether you're hungry or satisfied. The way you eat doesn't just affect your blood sugar. It reshapes how your brain processes hunger signals from both hormones. Every meal you eat is either strengthening that connection or breaking it. And if you don't understand that connection, you'll keep feeding the cycle without knowing it. That's the next investigation. And if you think leptin resistance is frustrating,
Prepare
wait
for the
until you see what
complete
insulin
systemic
does to the whole
revelation,
system.
anchoring the entire
Comment hormone below and I'll pin a 1-page cheat sheet on leptin, ghrelin, and the insulin connection. Subscribe and hit the bell, because the next case on insulin is the one that ties this whole system together. See you there.